Hello, Princess. It is 5 o'clock in Ushuaia, Tierra del Fuego. So let's grab a margarita and talk about Margaritaville at sea. First off, they are off to a great start, and one specific reason that is very important to me, it seems that crew masks were optional. Thank God. Now, this was a while ago, so they are definitely ahead of the curve on this. And, I don't know whether it was lax enforcement or whatever, but a lot of the crew were uncovered, and I think that is absolutely awesome and fantastic. It is, well, let me tell you, the crew has been abused far too long, and it's time for all of this to end. So good on Bahamas Paradise for allowing that. I'm just going to say that. So anyway, now for the real stuff in terms of cruising. Okay, the embarkation was very smooth but traditional. They lined everyone up in a bunch of different queues, so, how quickly you were able to check in depended on which queue you kind of randomly chose. I am pretty good, I hope, at reading crowds, so I did pick a very short and fast-moving line, so I was not in line for very, very long, although it was still longer than some of the mainline cruise lines like Royal and Carnival, but nowhere near what I experienced with MSC Seashore. I would suggest that they go to switchbacks and then just sort of like spread people out as they come up instead of the multi-line procedure. It just gets kind of frustrating if you choose the wrong line. It seems kind of, I don't know, unfair, although I benefited, so it's perfectly fair for me. Despite her experience on the high seas, the ship is very well maintained, and there were a number of reimagined spaces that were perfectly on theme, and they were very, very enjoyable. I would like to see them continue to do that reimagining, but realistically, most of the ship is still original equipment. I think there were some updates made to the staterooms in terms of just the light decoration. There was a Margaritaville themed banner in the room, and the wallpaper and some of the art was on Margaritaville theme, but I think it might have been there already because it was already on kind of Bahamas theme, so maybe they just kind of like left that. It worked, by the way, and if that was the case, they got lucky and it worked out very, very well. So decor-wise, expect a lot of original, but the places that have been rethemed are very, very nice. This is an interesting one. The pizza is not complimentary. Yeah, no, it is not. It is an actual sit-down, table service restaurant, which I found absolutely amazing. It was very, very good. Remember, if you watch the videos, and you definitely should, so go back and rewatch all of those now, pre-order. Yes, pre-order your pizza and select the time you want it delivered. You will be thanking me, definitely, for that. So, anyway, this is not something that is completely unheard of. I mean, there's free pizza on Carnival and Royal, but not Norwegian, although Ocean's really is its own thing. But it was so good, I did not mind paying for that. In terms of other late night eats, though, I actually don't really know, because I had the pizza, and the first night I was done with dinner, since I tried so many things. I didn't really need a late night snack. So you know what, next time I will evaluate the other late night offerings. Hopefully this will be rectified by now. But one thing I found very, and not really annoying, but something unusual, was the cocktail menus were not available. They were there, they were printed, they were ready, but they were not out and they were not guest accessible because Joe Biden. Yes, they were having a lot of trouble sourcing a lot of the ingredients for the cocktails that were developed for the cruise line. So rather than, create a negative guest experience, everything, America's a negative experience right now, thank you very much. They decided to get a little bit creative. I do remember that substituted some of the options for the margaritas, and they were very good. Again, watch the videos. So hopefully by now they have resolved that, maybe got the ingredients from somewhere else, maybe, I know, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Venezuela, who knows. It's where we're trying to get our oil. Anyway, I look forward to trying the actual cocktails, I will say that. So most important, I know why you're all here, the food. Okay, so the food was really good. Yes, it was. And I will say that it was better in the dining room, by the way, than what I have gotten in general on Royal Caribbean. It was not at the level of Norwegian or Carnival yet, but it did edge out MSC a little bit. So if you're worried about the food on a little cruise line that only does little 2-day cruises to Grand Bahama, don't be. Definitely do not be. It was really, really good, and I enjoyed every dish and every entree that I had. And it edged out MSC primarily because of the Bahamian conch chowder. Oh my god, I still remember that. That was so good. Definitely give that a try when you are on board. You will not be disappointed. Again, well, watch the review first so you know what you're getting into, but I really enjoyed that. One prediction I do have is that while Bahamas Paradise may have been able to kind of, get by, slide on a few things, Margaritaville has a reputation to protect. And as good as it was, really, for what they were able to accomplish in not a very long amount of time, it can only get better because the folks at Margaritaville are going to want it to get better because, like I said, they're going to want to protect their brand and create an experience that people are familiar with it, will enjoy. And I was talking to one of the bigwigs from Margaritaville, and there were a number of them on board, of course. And he was telling me that yes, there are things that are coming in terms of experiences on the ship, particularly menu experiences, bar experiences, and not just the menus, that they just were not able to ship on time, partly because of a supply chain and various things. And the ship was only out of service for a month, and for a retrofit like this, that was very aggressive. And well, we see what happened with the delay and everything, but I do expect it to only get better. So I am kind of looking forward to trying it again and seeing how far they have come. So if you're worried about not ever having heard about Bahamas Paradise or Margaritaville, by now and definitely in the future, I think it's going to get really good. If you are a Margaritaville fan, well, clearly, well, if you're a fan of Margaritaville, so much so that you would buy into their retirement community, you probably already experienced it because they were all over the ship. All right, I guess it's time to get a little bit nitpicky. The cabins were not significantly refurbished. They did some light redecorating, but there was no major overhaul of the cabin, so they are still probably original equipment from when the ship was built. And yeah, a few things were a little bit strange. So for one thing, the drains in the shower were not at the bottom of the shower. They were kind of off to the side. So I ended up always standing in not a deep pool of water, but a pool of water nonetheless, which was weird and a little bit icky, I suppose. And it meant that it drained very slowly. So yeah, I don't know. That was very weird. They still have shower curtains. No, there's no excuse for that. In modern times, it's a very easy fix, so please, everybody fix that. No shower curtains. They are horrible. Fix it. And, oh my god, there were no shelves in the bathroom. None whatsoever. It's absolutely crazy. It is so annoying. There was a lot of counter space, but still, no shelves, and I'm learning how important that is. Also, beware of the elevator situation. They are functional, but temperamental. There were times when I would push a button and nothing would happen, and then I would wait a few minutes, and then the elevator would move, but then it would stop at a floor that I did not request. Okay, and oddly, it was not just me. In the couple times that I had to go to guest services, check my folio, stuff like that, there were guests complaining about being stuck on the elevator. So my recommendation is take the stairs. Definitely take the stairs. She's not a big ship. You'll be fine. You don't really need to take the elevators in this case, because who knows where you will end up, at another dimension or something like that. I don't know, at this rate. On my sailing, the first sailing, the internet did not work at all, but they credited me what I paid for it. They call it the Coconut Telegraph, which is amazing in itself, but yeah, it was not working. So no questions, by the way. I just said the internet, and they're like, okay, got it. And I got a credit, so no problem there. I remember seeing some of the techs still wiring the venues for the Wi-Fi. So I guess they were not able to take care of that in the shipyard. And by now, I mean, we're talking a month or two later, I'm sure that has been rectified, and I will hopefully be able to check it out and see if the entire situation is now better. Although, for 2 days, if you can't live without the internet, I have some questions for you, because I was able to, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. So, yeah. Another thing they should do, and MSC needs to do this as well, is rearrange the debarkation process, because yes, there were a number of guests who were turned away from debarkation, kept on the ship because they still had a balance and no way to settle it. It just slows down the line because they kind of have to turn around and walk backwards, and there's people in the way. It's just frustrating for the guests who are settling to a credit card or something. And there's really, again, there's not really an excuse for this. I mean, this is something that I'm sure happens all the time. They just need to like move the line or reconfigure it so that they can like send the guests who need to deal with this back very, very easily, because it's like every time it happens, it's like this thing that never ever happens. Believe me, it happens. So yeah, very, very easy to fix. So would I sail with Margaritaville at Sea Paradise again? Yes, I definitely would. And it's not just because of the curiosity to see how much progress they've done, how much they've actually been able to execute what they intended. It was just a fun cruise, really. Even if it was just 2 days, I had a great time. And you know what, all the little situations that I experienced, they will definitely get better. All the venues, the bar menus, all that kind of stuff. You know, the only way is up. And very important, I still have to try the JWB Steakhouse. Yes, I was blocked both nights, and I'm sorry, I really wanted to try it and tell everybody about it, but yes, the fates did not allow that. So if you are in South Florida, particularly the Palm Beach area, and have a couple days to spare, and I don't want to spend it on a cruise ship, I definitely would say give Margaritaville a try. There's all the regular cruise activities, there's games, there's trivia, and all that stuff. And I would say, even if you are an experienced cruiser, you know, with status on other cruise lines, definitely give it a try. You know, there's no harm in like expanding your worldview, trying new experiences, and you know what? Maybe you will find it to be quite enjoyable, a little bit different, and something that you might want to, I don't know, do over and over again. I guess it's kind of like the Dumbo of cruising. Easy to get on, there's never any line, you kind of know what you're gonna get, and you know what, it is always fun. So I do look forward to my next experience on Margaritaville for a number of different reasons. So that is my final decree on Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. I had a great time, and despite the random issues that came up, yes, I said internet and the check-in process and all of that, and the fact that I left a couple of drinks on the table because I just could not get through 12 beverages in a day. I'm sorry, I know I really tried. I let everybody down. You know what? It's okay, because these kinds of experiences remind me why I am still and always very thankful for my problems.